Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight was Monday Night Raw. Now, as far as tonight's Raw does go, I didn't think it was a bad show, but to me, excuse me, try not to burp right in the mic, but to me, I didn't think it was all that great of a show either. Both long talking segments, I wasn't a big fan of. Both CM Punk opening the show and that Becky promo. I don't know. I feel like they both went a little long. The show to me also felt longer than it had the last couple of weeks. I don't know exactly why that is, but it did feel a little longer to me. And yeah, overall, like, we had good wrestling. I thought there were some good matches on the show. The main event kind of shocked me because all of a sudden they're just like 1, 2, 3, it's over. I'm like, wait, already? But other than that, a lot of good in-ring stuff, I would say, tonight. But we've also got Luke over here with us, who we got a lot to talk about with Luke, because not only do we got to talk about tonight's Monday Night Raw, but Luke was also at Backlash live in St. Louis. Luke, what's going on, and how was your weekend, bud?
Honestly, Backlash was pretty fun. So the first thing I got to talk about is the first thing we did was the Superstore, which I did go to, and compared to like the Rumble Superstores, the Mania Superstores, this one wasn't as big. It was basically just your standard T-shirt store, I would say, is how I'd compare it to, which I had the video on my Twitter. I don't know if you have it pulled up or not, but anyway, it was basically just like a standard T-shirt store. And I got one shirt there, and it was the STL New St. Louis New World Order shirt.
That's
and it has like WWE Backlash on the back right here. It says St. Louis. So I did get a Backlash shirt. And after I was going to get the Cena St. Louis Farewell World Tour shirt. That I can't even talk right now. I am so sorry, but I did get they did not have that John Cena like Farewell Tour shirt. They were like all sold out of my size there, but I did get it at the stadium, and here it is right here. I do have it.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, it's right here, and here's the back of it. So yeah. They were like, so I went there on Saturday. I did not go on Thursday and Friday. They were open on Thursday and Friday, but I went on Saturday, and they were kind of like selling out of a lot of stuff. Like, there were like quite a few belts that were already sold out. The only belts that they were selling were the 2 men's world titles, a St. Louis Cardinals belt, and a Blues belt, and a old school world heavyweight title belt. Those were the only belts they had left, and also the mini St. Louis Cardinals belt as well. So that's kind of as far as all they had left for title belts. But I mean, the store wasn't bad. It was just like, it was kind of small, and obviously it's not going to be as big as the Rumble one, but overall it wasn't a bad store, I would say. But anyway, as far as the first match, the Fatal 4-Way match, that match was awesome. Yeah, that's when we first got there. That's when like the doors like opened right up, and our seats were like in that area as well, so we can really like go up to the pre-show panel and just watch, and we can literally listen to like every word that they were saying, which was kind of cool. I remember like when they were off the air, people were chanting like Big E rocks, and he started dancing for everybody.
Nice.
I think that's when they were like on commercial break, and they were like fixing like the mics and everything, and having like someone new come up to the panel. People were chanting like Big E rocks, and then Big E started dancing. But anyway, so like, again, first match, the Fatal 4-Way, great match, great opening to the show. Like, I did not expect Jeff Cobb to align himself with Solo. I kind of knew he was going to be on the show. I just didn't know like how they were going to present him. But like, this is going to be interesting. I don't think I heard your thoughts about it, but like, what do you think about it?
So my whole thing with Jeff Cobb is just like, oh, I wish he would just be on his own. I'm kind of over them adding guys to Solo, if that makes sense. But I think they're going to be turning Jacob Fatu soon. And so they, for some reason, don't want Solo on his own. They want Solo to have people, and with the Tongans out, both injured, I don't know. But also, they kept referencing, you didn't hear commentary, but they kept referencing Solo's soldiers. So are we getting Hikuleo soon?
I don't know. I still think Hikuleo is probably going to be in NXT.
Whatever they're going to call him, Talatonga, and I think there's another Tonga name that they've trademarked recently. I don't know, but so they made a reference to something about like Solo's soldiers, and they pluralized it. So I don't know if that was like a hint of there's more to come or what. But yeah, no, I'm not a fan of it. I wish Jeff Cobb would just be on his own. Also, for all you dumb sons of bitches, all night on Saturday and then all day Sunday, every time there was something Jeff Cobb on social media, people would have to respond, gore. He's not Rhino. And he doesn't, yeah, the hair in the face, whatever. But quit comparing this guy to Rhino. It shows your ignorance of you don't know who he is. Now, here's my question. Because it came off well on TV. When they finally showed him on the screen and like they showed his face, was it the pop as good as it sounded on TV? Like it sounded good once they got like the clear shot of his face.
It popped for like a good 3 or 5 seconds, and after that, it kind of just died quickly. I feel like there was like half the stadium knew who he was, but I feel like the other half just didn't really know who he was because there were people on Twitter who kept saying, for those of you who don't know who Jeff Cobb is, this is his backstory.
Yeah, because what happened was when he first clotheslines LA Knight, like there's not much of a reaction. This is how it came off on TV. There wasn't much of a reaction, but as soon as that camera turns around and it's just that shot of his face, all of a sudden, like a half second later, we hear the pop. So it's like, oh, they can see who it is now. So I don't know how that came off being there live as far as like noticing and knowing that it was actually him. Oh, we have an issue? You hear me?
Yeah. I think we're good now, but yeah, you were cutting out like a lot while during that speaking, but
gotcha.
Anyway, the next match was the Lyra and Becky match, I believe. Honestly, that match, it was pretty good. I didn't expect it to be that good. Kind of surprised Lyra retained. Now, the big thing that people keep freaking out over is Lyra's partner, because people weren't really saying anything like when it like live during the match, but like I kept going on Twitter and I kept seeing all these tweets about Lyra's partner, and I'm just like, okay. Like I don't know if you really responded to anything about it, but
no, it's just like they're all like, oh my god, look at this geeky looking, dweeby looking guy. He's with Lyra. Like, okay, we saw him from like the side. He was not supposed to interact with anything. Just sit there, and if you guys not seen this guy, he's a pro wrestler and he's not that bad looking. When he doesn't have his glasses on and he's got like his hair slicked back and everything, he's a good wrestler too. Like he's a really good CJ Cleary, I think his name is. Good wrestler. He's worked for New Japan, I believe. And yeah, no. All the crap people are giving him, oh, how'd this guy get Lyra? Like, screw off. Not like you guys would have a chance anyways. He's fucking on. And the thing is, all these people that were mostly giving shit about the guy are the ones that have the no face Twitter accounts. Like, they don't even have their own picture on their Twitter. Let's see what you look like, bub.
Mine's an artist made mine, actually.
No, that's fine. But it's like a lot of the accounts I saw that were like talking crap about this guy have like John Cena as their photo or Liv Morgan or, you know what I mean? Like it's just of some random whatever. That's the thing.
But yeah, I did not expect Becky to lose that. I thought for sure Becky was winning. And and at the end, I was like, gosh dang it. I was really hoping for a title change tonight because I've been to a lot of WWE shows in my day, and I haven't really seen that many title changes. I've only seen about 3 out of the 10 I've been to.
Here's my theory on that. I think Becky's gonna get the belt, and knowing how Becky is, she might have said, hey, let me put Lyra over first, let her win one, and then I'll beat her the next time. I could see Becky asking for that, saying, hey, let her beat me, give her a little credibility before I just come back and all the fans think that I just killed her and squashed her and this and that. I could see Becky asking for that.
Yeah, that probably makes sense. But now the next was the men's IC title match. I'll have to rewatch this on Peacock, but I feel like watching it live there, it was pretty lackluster. I feel like there was too much outside interference, and I don't know if you feel like the same way about this, but I hate this stupid like El Grande Americano like storyline. I hate it. I don't know if you like it or hate it, but I hate it. I just want it to be done.
I think it's more funny than anything. Like, I don't care, to be honest.
I think it's stupid. Like, we all know it's Chad Gable. Just get it over with.
Oh, no. Here, I can show you even something even more. The WWE's already told us it's Chad Gable without having to tell us it's Chad Gable. Watch. When you go to the El Grande Americano, I can pull this up here on the screen. When you go to... Let's do this. When you go to WWE's website, you go to roster, you go El Grande Americano. Oh, wait, hold on. No. I got on the wrong thing. Give me 2 seconds. Why is that? Wrong button. When you go to his actual image and see what his image is listed as. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Would be... Oh, hold on. Do this. If you look right here, it's actually titled Chad Gable Profile. The image of El Grande Americano on WWE's website is literally titled, saved as Chad _ Gable _ profile. So it's like, as much as they want us to not think it's him, it's him. As much as Pat says, oh, that's not El Grande Cole, or that's not Chad Gable Cole, that's a different person. Nope. But, and I think Luke froze. He's having internet issues. It's all good. But, oh, wait. We got him back.
All right, my wife is pretty crappy tonight.
You're good.
But
You're good.
we're gonna make this work, though. We're gonna make this work.
Of course.
But yeah, like this whole storyline is just stupid. I just want it to be done. My question is, how long are they gonna keep it going? Like SummerSlam?
No, I think at least Worlds Collide with the AAA show.
What are they gonna do? Have every luchador like surround him in the ring, beat the crap out of him, then take his mask off?
I would have said him versus Rey Mysterio in the main event, mask versus mask. But now that Rey is injured, where do you go from here? Who do you put in there? Well, then what would that be? Mask versus hair? Regardless, I think...
Or you do him versus Penta wouldn't be bad.
But they did that tonight on Raw. Chad Gable versus Penta. It's like, why do we need El Grande? Well, I guess you could do El Grande versus Penta, and Penta can say he's avenging his brother's loss from WrestleMania.
And technically El Grande cost him the IC title.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. I didn't think about it like that, because I'm just still thinking, well, Chad Gable fought Penta tonight. Like, that's supposed to be two different people. Anyways, yeah, I can see El Grande Americano main eventing that Worlds Collide show, but at the same time, they're billing it as AAA and NXT. So I don't even know if main roster wrestlers, how many or who would even be on it.
Yeah, I don't know, but
because if you look, I'm gonna try to see something. Go for it while I look at something.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch this on television because I'm sure it looks better on television than it did in person. But I don't know. I feel like in person, I feel like there's too much outside interference. And I was like, when I was watching, I was like, yeah, this is probably the worst match of the night.
Okay, so it does have the WWE logo on there as well. I can pull up the logo right here. So this is the logo for Worlds Collide. It's got the WWE logo in the middle, AAA on one side, NXT on the other. So we will see main roster stars, I assume. What do you think of Gunther and Pat?
A lot better than I expected. They actually gave Pat some momentum in this match.
Yeah.
Like, not some, but like a lot. Like, I thought it was just going to be Gunther just destroying him, but at first it was mainly just Gunther kind of just playing around with Pat. Like, oh yeah, I'm the big guy and you're just this small guy. And he's just kind of just like tossing him around a little bit.
That's what I thought was going to happen. He was just going to kill him, which he did, but quicker.
I thought Pat's jersey that he wore to the ring was pretty cool. And when he tossed it to to like the fans. A little kid got it, which I thought was kind of cool for the kid.
Nice.
But yeah, like the match was pretty good. I thought it was kind of cool that they had Michael Cole like involved in a way.
Oh yeah, Michael Cole did the Bobby Heenan spot where goes for the pin and he holds the leg down.
Yeah, like one thing that I actually thought was going to happen, maybe like after the match, if once Gunther won, I thought maybe Gunther would attack Pat some more, maybe try to attack Michael Cole. Then maybe out comes Wade Barrett.
He showed him respect.
Yeah, I thought they were going to keep this going. Maybe have Gunther try to beat up the whole commentary team. Maybe have him fight Wade Barrett next.
I don't know about that one. I don't know what Wade's thought process is right now and having take a bumps or anything, but
I think Wade's basically said in the past that he's very comfortable as a commentator right now.
He loves commentary and he's damn good at it. I said it the other night. He's better than Corey Graves. So I don't mind no Corey Graves on any of these shows.
I haven't seen Corey Graves anywhere.
Corey Graves work NXT as the third man in the booth with Vic and Booker. So,
man, poor Corey Graves right now.
Right.
Honestly, I feel like he kind of carried the COVID era of like commentary.
A little bit. Because he would do both Raws and SmackDowns and whatever they needed. He was a very team player. What do you think of the main event? John Cena, Randy Orton.
That was one crazy main event. I was like, so they were just taking out all these referees, man. They were taking out all these referees till they didn't have referees anymore.
And then everybody took RKO, even the Hurricane.
And Drake Maverick.
No, that was Jamie Noble.
Oh, that's Jamie. I thought Drake Maverick was out there as well.
No, Drake Maverick is, if he still does, which I believe he does, he's a writer. He's not an agent. But no. Nick Aldis, Hurricane, Shane Helms, and Jamie Noble were the three that took the RKOs.
One thing I kind of thought was funny was like anytime they did like a table spot and they did a pin, automatically like the ref would come out. I'm like, what's the ref doing? Are they just like covering their eyes anytime there's like they're doing a table spot when a ref is down, when the ref in the back?
I don't know. Because he wasn't out there when it happened, so he can't say that he saw it.
But it's so stupid. Like when they do that, then they hurry up and go for the pin, and automatically the ref's coming out.
Yeah. Because in theory, you got to think they called for a new ref, and that ref ran from wherever he was to the ring and didn't look at any monitors or watch anything. He was focused on just running out. So in theory, we can kind of make up excuses.
Yeah, that match was like, it was crazy. And the crazy ending of R-Truth basically costing Randy the match. Like, what?
Well, did you see what happened in the press conference afterwards?
Yeah, Cena gave R-Truth an attitude adjustment.
Because basically, did you watch it or did you?
I saw it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. So you saw exactly what he said with the whole. They say you can't wrestle, and Cena gets all mad. Say one more word. I like the way that he made it real and just like Ron. I'm like, oh, he first named him like mom and dad would when they're mad at their kid. You got full named Ron. Don't say another word, Ron.
Yeah, so basically, it's just pushing to him versus R-Truth at Saturday night's main event. Like, what's going to happen on SmackDown? Is R-Truth just going to be like, Cena, you're still my hero?
I don't know, but that's the rumor.
Whatever.
Cena versus Truth, Saturday night's main event. Cena's going to work a couple more Saturday night's main events because he's supposed to also, his final match is going to be on a Saturday night's main event.
Oh, I thought they would name his last show Ruthless Aggression.
But here's the thing. Think about this. Saturday night's main event is probably going to get more eyeballs than a pay-per-view would on Peacock. Saturday night's main event with the right kind of advertising and publicity and push could probably do a pretty good number on NBC. And then if they can figure out a way to do it with like John Cena's match commercial free, so
Yeah, that's the thing they gotta do is make sure it's commercial free.
like they can't. I don't think they do the whole 2-hour Saturday Night's Main Event commercial free, but I think they can probably get at least Cena's main event match commercial free. The rumor with that is that they're having cities, Boston, one of them, bid for it, and they want like 1.5 million from the city, but you'll get community events, SmackDown, an Undertaker One Dead Man show, and then Saturday Night's Main Event. So we'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah, once the match was over, they had like a lot of time left and Cena was on the mic. I thought for sure somebody was going to come out and return.
Well, that's what I thought too, because he was like, I need competition. And I'm like, okay, who's coming out? No, nobody. Now,
no CM Punk, no Cody.
Well, see, so here's the thing. Punk is in a program with Seth, whatever. Punk did kind of allude to doing something with John Cena on social media where he was watching the show and commentary, he had the captions on and it said, John Cena's still the champion. And then CM Punk captioned the photo with, for now. I can see they do whatever they're going to do at Saturday Night's Main Event with that tag team match. And then a few weeks later, hopefully it's this show, Money in the Bank could be John Cena and a CM Punk. Calls back to 2011.
That wouldn't be bad.
Right?
Honestly, what I can see with that is if they do that, I can probably see Seth Rollins costing Punk that match.
Oh, that's a good idea. They keep that going.
Set up maybe like
SummerSlam
either
match
like Punk, either like Rollins or Braun Breaker. Maybe set up a SummerSlam match.
Okay. Well, we'll have before that. We'll also have the Clash in Paris before SummerSlam. Between we'll still know. Money in the Bank. Here's the interesting thing. Here's the weird thing. We got Money in the Bank, and then we have Saudi. And the interesting thing is, Punk was in the advertising video for the Saudi show, Night of Champions. Punk has said before he won't go to Saudi, so why put him in the video if he wouldn't go? I don't know. But then we have Clash in Paris and then SummerSlam. So between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam, there are 2 other PLEs.
Does John Cena go to Saudi? That's the thing.
He would. He's done it before. He worked Triple H in 2018 in Saudi. I think it was the Greatest Royal Rumble, the first Saudi show. But, so, a couple questions for you being there live. What made the fans, after the match, start chanting, "Thank you, Cena"? What do you think? Like, you were there. How the fans started chanting really loudly, "Thank you, Cena." What do you think caused that? Because all we saw was just the camera tight on Cena at ringside, and we didn't see anything else going on.
So I think I basically like kind of left once they showed like executive producers, Paul, and but like as far as like the thank you Cena stuff, I think it's mainly because like I don't know. I can't really.
You think they realized? You think they realized? Oh crap! We aren't going to see Cena again live in St. Louis, and so they were like, "Oh,
I think so.
Let's show our appreciation real fast."
I think that was basically like, yeah, Cena's officially done in St. Louis, so everybody's chanting "Thank you, Cena."
So,
but yeah, that's kind of my thought process with it.
My other question. Oh, go for it.
Like before the show started, people kept chanting like "Cena sucks, Cena sucks," and then like once the show ended, everybody started chanting "Thank you, Cena." So everybody was probably like, "Oh crap, Cena's officially done in St. Louis."
Also, I've been corrected. Clash in Paris is after SummerSlam. They're both in August, so I got them mixed up. I thought Clash in Paris was early August. SummerSlam's early August, and then Clash in Paris is at the end of August. So I got those 2 dates mixed up. So we have 1 PLE between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. But other question for you. What is your thoughts? Because I haven't been to a WWE show live since they started doing this. What are your thoughts on all the logos on the ring mat being there live?
I mean, it honestly didn't really make much of a difference to me. I mean, yeah, I could barely tell like there was logos on the ring mat. Like
that's
at least
my
from
thing.
Where I was sitting.
Because I saw people crapping on the whole, what's that big yellow logo in the middle of the ring? It looks like crap. I'm like, okay, you don't watch UFC? You don't watch New Japan? Like I watched UFC New Japan for years, and their mat is covered in logos in both of those companies. So it doesn't bother me at all.
AAA has like logos everywhere on their ring mat.
Yeah, but I don't watch that much AAA.
It's wrestling though.
Yeah. Like it's not a thing. I mean, even now AEW has just a big AEW in black letters in the middle of their ring all of a sudden, like out of nowhere. So
I mean, yeah.
But overall,
it was
overall, what was your experience?
It was a pretty good experience. I mean, like, was it a better experience than I had at the Rumble? Obviously not, but it was a pretty good experience. I felt like, and especially like, I feel like Cena's like last appearance in St. Louis definitely made it a lot better because I mean, it's definitely the last time I'm probably gonna see Cena live. So I feel like that kind of made it a lot better. But I thought the matches were good. I thought they had a great opening match. The women's match was pretty good. I mean, I'll have to rewatch the Penta and Dominic match on TV, but St. Louis is a great wrestling crowd. I've seen a lot of TikToks of people keep saying how like great of a crowd St. Louis is.
Oh yeah, no, the crowd on Saturday came off very good on television. Like
people were like doing the Dirty Dom chant like really well.
Mm-hmm. No, St. Louis has always been a big wrestling city, especially back in the 70s and 80s when Ric Flair would be doing like the wrestling from the chase shows and stuff.
So, yeah, it's always been a great wrestling city, and heck, give us a SummerSlam at Busch Stadium.
Oh man, that'd be cool.
Like Busch Stadium, like at least the current Busch Stadium was built in 2006, so still fairly new. So heck, give us a SummerSlam at Busch Stadium. Could you imagine if WWE did SummerSlam in St. Louis?
And anybody wondering what Busch Stadium is, it's where the Cardinals play.
Yes.
Baseball stadium.
I don't think they're going to do it at Edward Jones. So for those of you who don't know what Edward Jones is, Edward Jones, that's where the Rams used to play when they were in St. Louis. But I don't think they do it there because, I mean, I know we had Royal Rumble there in 2022, but...
Wait, they changed the name of it? I thought it was America Center or whatever.
Or they might have. They probably did. Anyway, that stadium is a little outdated. I mean, I feel like now they kind of use it for conventions now. Than like a lot of like big events like this.
Well, I watched not twice, I think last year. They converted it into a big dirt track and they did like sprint car racing in there.
Yeah, I think so. But anyway, like heck, give us a SummerSlam at Busch Stadium. I don't think St. Louis will get a WrestleMania anytime soon. I don't see us getting a Mania. I don't think St. Louis is a little bit of a small market, so I don't think we're big enough to get a WrestleMania.
When was that Rumble again? 2022?
2022, yes.
I'm trying just to think. Would that be too soon for them to bring one of the big three? I mean, maybe if you do it in like the next 2 or 3 years. I couldn't see a SummerSlam there. Well, so we already know not this year, and then next year's SummerSlam is in Minneapolis. So we got till at least 2027 to announce a new SummerSlam city.
Right.
And they're now bringing, as we've seen, because this year for Survivor Series, that's going to be at the Padres Stadium. Maybe they bring Survivor Series there.
I think we've gotten a Survivor Series before. I could be wrong, but I feel like we've gotten a Survivor Series in St. Louis before.
Because this is going to be the first year Survivor Series is at a baseball stadium. It's going to be at the Petco Park where the Padres play.
Is that an indoor stadium?
No. Outdoor. In old San Diego in November. Going to be a crisp 70 degrees.
Eesh, that's going to be miserable.
Not really. 70 degrees in a November in LA or Southern California, all that area, actually going to be pretty well. It's going to be pretty good.
Better hope it don't rain. That's all I gotta say.
It don't rain
Remember
in
that one?
It don't rain in California.
Remember WrestleMania 38?
Tampa. 7.
Oh, 7?
I think it's 7.
That was the one that was raining?
Tampa with Joe and the poncho.
Yeah, Michael Cole in the poncho as well.
Yeah. Alexa, stop. Damn, echo started going off. I didn't even say anything. Anyways, but yeah, no, it hardly ever rains in California. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. But with all of that, we got Luke's thoughts on Backlash. Damn, we went 30 minutes on that. Now we got to talk about Monday Night Raw. And with all
we went 15 minutes whenever I was talking about the Rumble.
Oh yeah, well the Rumble's huge, big show. Plus you did more as far as like the Super Show and WrestleCon and all that.
Or yeah, the Superstore, WrestleCon, and then the actual Rumble.
Right. But with all of that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to help us out over on YouTube at the subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we post the community tab. Also, if you want to help us out in another way, you can hit the join button and become a channel member. As a channel member, you get a lot of cool perks. You get access to emotes and emojis you can use in the live chat in the comment section. You get access to all of our graphics packages, which you will be getting our Backlash graphics this week. And I think I'll put up the Saturday Night's Main Event graphics this week as well. Why not? We've already had one. I'm not holding them off for anything. So you'll get both of those this week. Plus, I'll do a tutorial, Photoshop tutorial for the Backlash graphics as well. And then I'm also going to be doing a Q&A at the end of the week as well. So we got all that coming up for members. You can also get that if you subscribe at patreon.com/PW Unlimited, which to me is the better platform for a membership thing because it's easier to find things instead of having to scroll through or look through things on the community tab. It's more laid out and better sorted, I guess you would say, over there on Patreon. Again, that's patreon.com/PW Unlimited. And also remember to head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Right now, Fortnite is in their Galactic Battle Star Wars season. Obi-Wan Kenobi is now available in the store as well. Also, remember, when you do buy things over on Fortnite, you now get credit back. You get Epic Rewards. Epic Rewards are no longer just for the store. You get 20% back for anything you buy in Fortnite, Rocket League, or Fall Guys. So, like, you go buy enough V-Bucks for the new season Battle Pass, you're going to get back almost $2. You spend that $8.99 or whatever it is, you're going to get back like $1.80. I've got like $3-4 in credits right now on my Epic account. And I've used those credits before from buying other things throughout the store to get a whole free game. So maybe you want Obi-Wan Kenobi. Maybe you want Mace Windu, Luke Skywalker. They're all available in the store right now on Fortnite. Or in Fortnite, however you want to say it. Also, we're brought to you by Chef Robot, but we'll hear about them a little bit later. With all of that, we got Monday Night Raw to talk about. They kicked off with CM Punk. CM Punk enters the building, and he pointed to the sky, tribute to Sabu, which we got a pretty good. I expected a little bit more from WWE, but we got a pretty good little Michael Cole, Pat McAfee narrated thing later in the show we'll talk about for Sabu. Rest in peace. You got any favorite Sabu moments?
I I didn't really watch much Sabu, if I'm being completely honest. I think there was like an ECW one where like he did like a really great spot of like he did a dive through like a bunch of tables.
Well, that's Sabu's thing. So Sabu's big thing was he made it popular in the United States to go through a table. Then he brought that to ECW, and Paul Heyman just let everybody go through tables. So that's Sabu's thing. He popularized putting somebody and jumping on and through tables in the United States. Like it was a thing in Japan, and Onita was doing it in FMW and all that kind of stuff. But Sabu's the one that really brought it to the US using tables. So as far,
but like,
go for it.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be completely honest. I haven't really watched much of Sabu's like matches back in the day. If I'm being completely honest, and I one thing I do remember though, like in 2006, him and RVD got busted for weed, and RVD had to vacate the WWE Championship.
Yep, that was a thing. But what was I gonna say? Oh, now my Brian just, whoa. If you want suggestions for Sabu matches, the barbed wire matches with Terry Funk, anything with Taz and ECW, and then like his Rey Mysterio one night stand match was really good if you want WWE stuff. And I don't know if you could call it a good match, but him and Big Show from SummerSlam was entertaining, I guess you would say. So, also we do have a super chat from Jack Dawson. Thank you for that one. He says, keep up the good work. And welcome back, Luke, with Money in the Bank coming soon. What wrestlers do you see in the match, both men's and women's? I was going to talk about this later because they did announce that we're going to do Money in the Bank qualifying matches, but we can really quick. Who do you see? Give me like, so we're probably going to get 5 or 6 people. Give me 3 men and 3 women that you think are a lock for Money in the Bank.
So we'll start with the women. I would say probably Roxanne Perez as one. Probably, I would say maybe Julia as another one.
Oh, you think both of them? Okay.
Another one. I don't know. Like,
I think you got to put Braun Breaker in it. Like for the men, got to be Braun Breaker. Oh no, I think we lost Luke again for a second. But if I'll give mine real fast while we wait for Luke to come back. But I think Braun Breaker for the men. If he wasn't the IC champion, I would say Dom, but I wouldn't put him in now since he's the IC champion. I'm looking at the roster here on WWE's website. Braun Breaker.
There we go.
There we go. So I was saying that for the men, I think Braun Breaker's a lock. Like you put Braun Breaker in that match for sure.
Braun Breaker could honestly win it.
Yep. Penta or Phoenix. I wouldn't do both. One or the other. Penta or Phoenix. And I'm just looking here.
Damian Priest.
That's an interesting one. A former winner. Sometimes you need them former winners just to be like, can he win it again? So would you go Priest or McIntyre or both?
Well, McIntyre, apparently he's getting checked up on for a possible injury.
He's going to be fine. They think he had a concussion, but he's going to be fine. Because I don't know if you noticed it. When Priest gave him that South of Heaven chokeslam off the big wherever they were standing on, and they crashed through the tables, Drew's head missed the table and smacked on the concrete.
Honestly, you could go both and maybe that could lead to something that set up a big match at SummerSlam.
But they just had their WrestleMania match, though. We don't need them again at SummerSlam.
Finish in a Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell
Lord.
ends rivalries.
Drew in another one. I mean, it'd probably be a good match, but we just saw Drew in a Hell in a Cell. But looking at the men's here, I'm looking at the roster.
Carmelo Hayes wouldn't be a bad option. Andre the Giant.
Oh, yeah. There you go. So Braun, one of the Lucha Bros, Carmelo Hayes. Not a bad idea. She might be back in time. Liv Morgan, maybe, for the women. Because Liv's might be back by next week. No. Yeah. She might be back by either next week or the following. And that would maybe give her enough time to do a qualifying match. And the qualifying matches will start Friday on SmackDown. And then be also on next week's Raw. But if we're looking as far as like the women do go, you said Roxanne, maybe Julia. I don't know if you would do both. Maybe you do both.
Bianca?
I was thinking that. Bianca is not a bad idea.
I think for the men, if Braun Breaker's in it, Braun Breaker's probably going to win.
It would make sense with the whole him and Seth and them want to take over. And so the looming threat of I'm going to cash in at any time. Ooh, Aleister Black.
Aleister Black wouldn't be a bad option, but do you feel like it'd be too early? Because I don't know if I'd... Which I know he wouldn't be taking any pins.
Not to win it. And he doesn't have to take a pin. Just... Money in the Bank is a good match to where if you have somebody that you don't want to lose or have lose momentum, it's a ladder match. What does it matter? Trey says Bianca is injured. Remember, she got a messed up finger. She might be fine. I mean, she can come back by then. I don't know how bad.
What about Nia Jax?
No, they ain't put Nia Jax in this. Well, no. So, I think that's gonna be Saturday night's main event because Nia's gonna challenge for the title against Tiffany. So I think maybe that's Saturday night's main event, though. You think maybe Bailey? Whatever, but no. Because they're going to do something with her and Becky. We don't know when Bailey's coming back on TV. Bailey's not really hurt.
Well, that's an interesting thing. We don't even know what's going on with Bailey or when she's coming back.
Alexa Bliss, she returned on SmackDown and told Charlotte, let's chat.
True, maybe Alexa Bliss wouldn't be a bad option.
Screw it. Chelsea Green.
That's kind of why I said earlier, maybe Chelsea Green.
So, a lot of options and a lot of kind of like, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. So, we'll know.
What about Solo?
No, I would not put Solo. Screw it, Jeff Cobb. No, too early for that. But we'll know here in the next couple of days, hopefully by Thursday, what those first qualifying matches are. I assume we just get two, one men's and one women's qualifier on SmackDown. So I assume they do a thing where Nick Aldis announces that on Thursday because that's how they usually do it. Aldis will announce matches on Thursday. Pierce announces matches on Saturday or Sunday, the day before. So we will see. But with this Punk promo, I felt like he dragged a little bit and kind of went on and on and on and on. He said he was pissed off. He was nursing a few injuries since WrestleMania, but couldn't shake being pissed off, so he came back anyways. He said he was mad, but most specifically mad at himself. Said it wasn't the first time Paul Heyman stabbed him in the back. Punk liked to trust his friends. Heyman dropped a ladder on him one time about 12 years ago that led to 13 staples in his forehead. Punk then thought that they had moved past that because he matured as a human being, but apparently Heyman didn't. He would then call Seth Rollins, and I shit you not, he called Seth Rollins the Temu CM Punk. Why? Do you ever think of CM Punk when you look at Seth Rollins, Luke?
No.
The only
Two different people.
The only thing they have in common when it comes to them in WWE is they both came from ROH and they're former ROH world champions. Other than that, Temu CM Punk? No, not at all. Not at all. I didn't like that line, as you could tell. Punk says he couldn't wait to get his hands on Heyman's fat neck, squeezed his eyeballs out of his head, and Heyman marched out to the ring. As Punk mocked him, referring to him as the Penguin. Heyman remained near the stage as Punk warned him that the next words are going to be your last. Rollins and Breaker were then joined on the stage. Rollins said to Punk, found a way to be even more egotistical. Heyman was his best friend. Punk made his life hell on the road to Mania. Heyman believed in Punk when no one else did. Rollins believed that Punk was human excrement. And Rollins said that he would be champion if not for Punk. Which, not really. But okay, sure. Punk said that Rollins would never be the champ again as long as he is around and standing on 2 feet. Rollins then figured out that Punk loved to play the victim and be a martyr. We sent Braun down to attack. Punk tried to fight him off, but the numbers game were too much. Seth came down as well. This then led to Sami Zayn coming out to even out the odds, but Braun suplexed him easily. Jey Uso then came out to try and even things up. Crowd loved it, but they all got beat down. He got beat up as well. The heels stood tall here as both Punk and Zayn hit the ring with chairs, and then they ran away. So it was an okay opening segment. I felt like it went a little long. But what did you think?
I thought it was good. I mean, Punk talking to like Paul Heyman, I thought he was like, oh, let's hear you talk, you penguin.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
I don't know, like, did Paul Heyman ever like explain why he turned on Roman and Punk?
Yes. So he said he turned on Roman because he felt like, well, first it was Punk. He turned on Punk because Punk put him in a no-win situation leading up to WrestleMania. He made him have to not be with his tribal chief. And then he turned on his tribal chief because his tribal chief left him. His tribal chief turned his back on him and didn't help him with the solo stuff when he ran away after Mania last year. So, all of that. That and then the whole Roman questioned his loyalty leading up to Mania. Kind of wishy-washy, but whatever.
The Roman stuff kind of makes sense.
A little bit, yeah.
It's like, you left me when I needed you most. I was always there for you, and you were never there for me.
Yeah, but then it's like, okay, but then you were there helping them with war games and even past war games, so I don't know. But moving forward, Cole called the opening segment alone. No Pat McAfee out there. McAfee finally came down, got a full entrance and everything, and they noted on a commentary that Pat was still being checked out by medical because they wanted to make sure that Pat was good from his match with Gunther before they sent him out to the commentary table, just in case anything may happen to him. So I'm like, oh, okay. So then we got our first match of the night. It was Penta versus Chad Gable. Really good match. I thought this 11-minute match was really good. These two, not the first time they worked together because Chad Gable was Penta's first WWE opponent. So Penta tried to do a dive early on, but Gable knocked him out in midair with a headbutt. The same headbutt used by El Grande Americano at the pay-per-view, but without the loaded mask. Gable repeatedly tugged at Penta's mask during the break. And commentary is funny here because Cole's over here going, oh, he's trying to take the mask off of Penta, but doesn't he know as El Grande Americano that the mask is sacred? Didn't he learn anything in Mexico? And Pat's over here going, it's not the same guy, Cole. You're thinking that's one and the same, but those are two different people. There's a reason we've never seen them together, Cole. So Penta made his comeback immediately, followed by a break. But then Gable cut him off with a bridging German suplex. This is always not impressive, where a guy jumps at Gable and he catches him and he just holds him up there and he like walks around for a second and then does the slow bridging back German. Like, this man's strong as shit. And it's not like he's doing it to, like, no offense, a Rey Mysterio or a Dragon Lee or something who's like, Dragon Lee 60, 70 pounds. He's doing it to Penta who's over 200 pounds. Penta's got to be what, 220? So, yeah. Holding Penta up like that, moving around a little bit, and then just doing the slow. Yeah, no. Always impressive. Always impressive. Gable then flew off the top rope, but Penta caught him with a code breaker. Gable hit a moonsault for a 2 and applied an ankle lock. Penta immediately rolled out and hit a super kick for a 2. Gable then taunted Penta as they stood on the ropes, but Penta shoved him off. Gable landed on his feet, but Penta followed with a great-looking Canadian Destroyer for the pinfall. So Penta does get the victory here over Chad Gable in a great 11-minute match. What'd you think?
Oh yeah, I thought it was a pretty good match. Do you know what I just thought of, actually?
Go for it.
What if they put El Grande Americano in the ladder match at Money in the Bank?
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Hitman Penta.
I think you're right. I actually it depends. Because do they want him working 2 matches in one day? Remember, Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide are the same day. So if they do unmask him at Worlds Collide, then he couldn't be in the ladder match. Unless he shows up and he's like, okay, I'm Chad Gable, I'm in the ladder match. And then someone goes, no, El Grande qualified, not you, you're out. I could see some stupid gimmick and comedy thing like that. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see where this goes, but
yeah, Penta beat Chad.
I just
picked up the win. What were we gonna say?
I just want this whole Grande stuff to be over. I think it's funny but stupid.
I don't think it's for much longer. Maybe a month. I think it's for like a month, and then we're good.
I just want to know like how they like unmask him. Are they gonna have like a bunch of luchadors like gang up on him and take his mask off and be like, all right, Chad?
There's a couple different ways you can go here. You can either do the mask versus mask match or mask versus hair, however you want to do it. Or you do the match where he has some match and then afterwards he loses. I think regardless he's going to lose before they take the mask off of him. And they do the whole thing where a bunch of wrestlers surround him in the ring. They pin him down, they pull the mask off, and he's like, oh my God, it is Chad Gable. Now, here's my question. We've got how many weeks till that show? We've got 1, 2. It's on the 7th. We only got 3 weeks till that show. Holy crap. So when do they start building up that show and making matches? And where? On NXT? Not sure, actually. Because also NXT still building to Battleground, which is the weekend of Saturday night's main event. So, like, they got no time here to start building stuff up when they're already building up another show in NXT. And they haven't even teased having any main roster matches. So that's my one thing. It's like, when are they going to even start giving us matches or building anything, you know? Like, I haven't seen or heard anything in AAA building towards a match for this show. So who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
But moving forward, we got a pre-taped with Roxanne and Julia just talking about being in the main event tonight and taking out Io and Rhea. Then we got a video package showing, okay, now you said earlier that they didn't focus much on Backlash. I think it's because now that I think about it, most of the stuff they did recapping Backlash was during the US commercials. I watched international. That might be why you didn't see much recapping of Backlash.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because I literally wrote right here, we got a video package highlighting the John Cena Randy Orton Backlash match during the break.
Yeah, because I don't see any of the interviews they do during breaks, like the A-Town Down Under interviews. I don't see those.
Here's the funniest one from tonight. So they're doing some stuff during the break, and they go, now let's send it to Jackie Redmond, who's got an interview with A-Town Down Under. And she's talking to Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. And Austin Theory's, they're talking about, you know, oh, you had Austin Theory's like, you set up a match for me last week. Well, I set up a match for you next week. The match you were supposed to be in with Sheamus last week. So next week, Grayson, you're going to fight Sheamus, right? So they set that up and announced it there. Grayson Waller versus Sheamus. But then like an hour later, they do the segment on air of Sheamus suggesting, hey, how about I fight Grayson Waller next week? And I'm like, oh, they already said that Austin Theory went to Adam Pearce and set this match up for next. Yeah. No,
maybe that was for the people who don't get those like interviews.
No, but for the people, here's the thing. But for the people that do, you literally told us you set this match up 2 different ways. You told us Austin Theory went to Adam Pearce to set the match up, but then we see Sheamus go to Adam Pearce and ask for the match. So, you know what I mean? It's weird the way they did that. But they also showed us stuff where some wrestlers went to the Louisville Slugger Museum and got custom bats made with their logos on it, like Kofi Kingston and Braun Breaker.
That's kind of cool, honestly.
Yeah, they showed them like, on the lathe making the bats from scratch and everything, and then they show like a Kofi Kingston logo on one and a Braun Breaker logo on another. Just plain regular pine bats, nothing special, but it just had like the sticker they put on there with their logos. Really cool though. Well, Judgment Day met in the back. There was some silly comedy with Dom not understanding that Liv Morgan's in a different time zone. Tried to call her, but yeah, she's like, what is Japan? Alexa, how many hours is Japan ahead of New York? Yeah, so she was at least 13 hours ahead of him. Half a day. More than half a day. So yeah, they made a joke about him not knowing time zones and everything. But Finn Balor was assured Dom, hey, all's gonna be okay. I'm gonna take care of AJ later tonight. Then we did get on the air a recap of Gunther and McAfee. We cut back to the announcers, and the fans gave McAfee a loud ovation. McAfee tried to play it off as humble, but Cole's like, no, Pat, take a stand, take it all in, like take this reaction you're getting. McAfee then cut a small little promo talking about his chest is still bruised. And he goes, I don't know how it happened, but at one point I popped the blood vessel in my eye. McAfee says he has respect for Gunther and felt he won Gunther's respect as well, which Gunther kind of gave him a tip of the hat. We also did learn that at Saturday night's main event, CM Punk and Sami Zayn will be teaming up to take on the team of Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. This then led to Sami Zayn in the back with CM Punk. Basically, Punk was just like, hey, I didn't ask for this. I kind of don't want it, but if it's what we got to do, it's what we got to do. He admitted to Zayn that, I have hard time trusting people. And Sammy's like, I get it. I have trouble trusting people too. I almost didn't want to trust you last year going into War Games, but it all worked out well. You helped us and we won. So I do have, respect for you. He's like, but I understand you want to do your thing, however you want to do it. But they both, will work together for the better of the match and make sure that Rollins and Breaker do not win. They've bumped fists, and there we go. What did you think of this?
It was all right. And I mean, and not much, but it was just all right.
Yeah. So then New Day came out and joined commentary. As I want to say, again, I kind of get things a little muddied sometimes, or I don't know, especially when matches are going on, what's the break, what's not the break. So it's like, I think most people probably saw this match. Like, did the match start during the break? Like, did you see the match, the tag match, War Raiders and Creeds, already in progress when you started seeing it? I want to say it started during the break.
Honestly, I can't remember.
Gotcha.
I assume it was the start. They started like on air, but I don't know. Okay. I'll have to go back and watch. I'll let you know after this.
Got it. Yeah, because to me it felt like they started during the break, and then because what it does when you're watching on the international Netflix is whenever it goes to or comes from a break, we get like 5 seconds of black, and then it's we're still there. It's a break now, or it's still there. Because the weirdest one was it was during a break. And Michael Cole told us, you can watch NXT globally here on Netflix every week. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, we're in a break, so you're talking to the international audience. Never mind. That threw me off for a second. I literally was just sitting here going, wait, what? I'm confused. Oh, wait, never mind. We're in a break. Bang says, I saw the entrances, though. That's what it was, yes. So they showed the entrances on TV, then they went to the break, and when they came back, the match had already started. That's what it was. Thank you, Bangs. So Ivar made a comeback after that break. Julius hit him with a superplex, and Brutus followed this up with a moonsault for a 2. The War Raiders fought back, and Eric rammed Ivar into Julius in the corner. Funny thing about the War Raiders, did you see the Eric interview with Chris Van Vliet or any of the clips from it about their call-up?
So I did. I saw a clip about their call-up. So the way he described it was, they got called up, they were going to have a match, and then Vince said, you guys are now the Viking Experience, and one of you guys is Eric, one of you guys
Yes.
are Ivar. Pick amongst yourselves.
He's like, okay. He goes, literally, they were walking out of the office. And he goes, oh, by the way, one of you is now Eric and one's Ivar. I don't care which, you guys decide. And apparently Ivar grabbed Eric and was like, please let me be Ivar. Apparently, like, an ex's brother or something was named Eric. Like, somebody that he did not want to be associated with in his past life or whatever was named Eric. And he did not want that name.
And then, like, I think once the match was over, I think they grabbed Triple H and like, what just happened? They're like, I don't know, but we're gonna fix this. So they waited in line to get to Vince's office.
That was before the match when they were going through run-throughs early in the day. So basically what happened was they were in the building and they were running through, you know, throughout the day, they'll throw random graphics up on the screen just to test everything, make sure it's working right. And they see a graphic that said Viking Experience. And they're like, wait, what? They went to Triple H and they're like, is that a rib? Triple H's like, I wish, but it's not. They're like, we don't want to be called that. And he's like, well, you got to go talk to Vince. And so what happened was Vince is like, okay, I get it. You don't want to be Viking Experience, but it's too late to do anything about it today. And apparently Vince is in love with Vikings. So he's like, the name's got to have Viking something. And we don't have time for legal to figure out what we can legally use. So you have to be the Viking Experience, at least for tonight. And then we will judge off of impressions what we do going forward, which they changed the name pretty quickly. But that was the thing. They literally told Vince, he's like, we told Vince, sounds like a Disneyland ride. The Viking Experience. But yeah, that's the whole thing.
I think Ivar had like a different story. He's like, yeah, Vince liked Vikings, and then for some reason he thought Viking Experience. He's like, all right, Viking Experience. You guys are now called the Viking Experience.
Well, yeah, that's basically the same story. But then when they finally told Vince, you know, we don't want the name, we don't like it, can we change it? Vince was like, we'll talk about it afterwards, but we can't do anything tonight. Because like WWE is by the books when it comes to like names and trademark and copyright and all that. So they're not just gonna be like, oh yeah, we'll change it right now and then figure it out later. No, they're gonna make sure it goes through legal first. Because that's why Zarya is now Zarya. Because there's too many things in the entertainment world that uses the name Delta, and they just didn't want any kind of like confliction. That's why she had to change her name from Delta. I think it was Delta. Yeah, Delta. But as far as the match, at one point Eric broke up a cover from the Creeds, and everyone kind of like started getting involved, including the New Day, who started running some distractions. They were sitting at ringside. Kingston would then attack Ivar as he tried to go to the top rope, and this allowed the Creeds to hit a Brutus Ball and pin Ivar to pick up the victory. So yeah, New Day were quite happy with what they had done. Not much really. It was like a 10-minute match. The first 2-3 minutes were during the break, and it scooted on by. Any thoughts on this match?
I'm really curious to see if the Creed Bros will actually get a title shot against the New Day since they beat the War Raiders.
So they did announce that later. So War Raiders and New Day were in Adam Pearce's office later in the night complaining. And they were like, hey, New Day got involved. We should get the title shot because they cheated and helped them. And Adam Pearce goes, ref's decision is final. The Creeds are getting a title shot. But I don't like how that went down. So are the War Raiders. And when this match does happen, it'll be a triple threat. They didn't say when or where, but it will be the New Day defending against both the Creeds, because technically they won, and the War Raiders, because New Day cheated to help them. So it will be a triple threat once the match does happen. They didn't say when or where. Whether that's going to be on a Raw, whether that's going to be on Saturday night's main event, we have to wait and see.
I would do a Saturday night's main event. You need more matches.
So typically they do 5 for the Saturday night's main event.
Well, you only got 2 announced, or two or 3.
2 announced,
at least.
2 announced, and I think we're getting 2 from SmackDown. We got Truth and Cena, and I think they do Tiffany. No, it's not. It's not official yet. And then I think they're going to do Tiffany and Nia probably at Saturday night's main event as well.
Can you imagine if Cena versus Truth is going to be the main event?
It's
I assume
possible.
it will.
It's possible. Unless they want Logan Paul to main event with Jey Uso.
And you just kick it off with Cena.
Maybe. Elise says, I thought their names originally Eric and Ivar from NXT. No. They were Hanson and
It was
Rowe.
Hanson and Rowe.
They got to keep their old names when they went to NXT. But then everything got changed when they went to WWE's main roster. Yeah. Because then on the Indies, they were Hanson and Rowe. And then in WWE, they came in and they were still Hanson and Rowe. So,
But they went from War Machine to War Raiders, though.
yeah. Well, you know why WWE wanted to change it from War Machine?
Why?
So apparently at the time, there was a controversy with MMA fighter named War Machine that apparently like beat up his girlfriend or sexual assault, something like that. So if you were to Google War Machine, you're either going to get the Marvel stuff, which again, that's a conflicting thing, or you're going to get this dude that did some bad things to his girl. So it was half trademark stuff, half we don't want people trying to think they're the same as this dude.
Makes sense, honestly. Like,
so moving forward, Rollins, sure, Braun Breaker, hey, all's going to be good. We're going to beat Punk and Sammy at Saturday night's main event. But before you leave, I got one last thing I want you to do. And he goes over and he whispers something in Braun's ear. And Braun goes, he has this look on his face like, for real? Like, oh, you want me to what? Okay, sure. And then he goes on his way. We don't know at the moment what Seth told him to go do. And Pierce quickly met with Jey Uso backstage, told him something, but we didn't hear what. This is then, we go to a break, and this is when Kathy Kelly does the interview with A-Town Down Under. They set up the theory, talked to Adam Pearce, and got a match for Waller next week with Sheamus, and yeah. They also told us that Logan Paul attacking Jey Uso after Monday Night Raw last week did like 16 million views across social media. So Jey Uso comes out. This was interesting as far as the timing of what they're setting up here. Jey Uso comes out, right? And he enters, big reaction to the crowd. He does the whole, one more, wrap it up, yeet, 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 once again. So he does another yeet segment. And then Jay said there was a big target on his back. So he wanted to get something right off his chest. Logan Paul was talking out the side of his mouth, claiming that Jay wasn't championship material, and that ain't true. Paul's now ducking him, sneaking around, attacking him from behind. But at Saturday night's main event, there ain't no sneaking around, no coming from behind, face-to-face, mano-y-mano. Jay called himself the Arena Shaker and said he's still going to be champion following Saturday night's main event. And then Gunther comes out. I'm like, oh, what? Okay. Crowd starts chanting, you tapped out. Now, you know the interesting thing about the Pat McAfee match and these you tapped out chants?
What?
Pat didn't tap. Gunther tapped to Jey Uso, but Gunther couldn't make Pat tap. Pat passed out instead. And Pat said that on his show this morning. He goes, hey, but at least I didn't tap out. He's like, maybe we contest the finish. I wasn't really out. The ref just thought I was out of it. I got up pretty quickly. So anyways, Gunther comes out there and says, Jey Uso's still playing champion. He's not a real champion. He's a fraud. Gunther noted that this was their first time together since, well, the moment. Jay clarified that moment was when, you tapped out. Yeah, crowd chants it again. Gunther then goes, interesting, Jay, that you're not sharing the news. We all saw Adam Pearce told you something before you came out here, but you're eluding something. So maybe I'll just say it. After Saturday night's main event, I will be handed the World Heavyweight Championship by either you or Logan Paul, because in Phoenix, Arizona, on June 9th, which is a Raw, I will be challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship. So, on June 9th in Phoenix, it's a Raw, we'll get a world title shot or a world title match on that show. which is very interesting of the timing of all of this. Because it's like, okay, on the 24th, we have Saturday night's main event where Jay will defend against Logan Paul. Now, why not do this match? If it's got to be on a Raw, then why not do it on the 27th, the Raw right after Saturday night's main event? Or why not wait 2 weeks and do it? Or you are waiting 2 weeks, but why not? If you're going to wait the 2 weeks, why not do it at Money in the Bank? Why does it have to be on the June 9th Raw, the Raw after Money in the Bank? Is there something big with Jey Uso on Money in the Bank or Gunther that they have to wait till after for this match to happen? What do you think? Because I'm flabbergasted on why it's not at Money in the Bank.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah,
unless they have some bigger matches planned for Money in the Bank that they want to do. So that's probably why they're doing Jay versus Gunther on Raw.
Well, you've got both ladder matches. You've got a Cena match. Cena's on the poster. Cena's going to be working that show. It's going to be his probably last match in LA. Cody's on the poster. We don't know what Cody's doing. That's another name. Throw Cody in that ladder match. I fucking forgot about Cody.
Or what if Cody returns and then maybe challenges Cena at SummerSlam?
I could see it. But it's like, so is Jay not? No. Messi says probably Jay versus Braun at Money in the Bank. I don't think so. We're getting Jay and Braun next week on Raw. And unless Jay, no, they're not going to have, no, there's no way to set it up. Jay's not going to lose before he defends against Logan Paul. And they're not going to do another Jay Braun. No, it doesn't make sense. Jay and Braun doesn't make sense at all. I would rather put Braun in the Money in the Bank ladder match anyways. But regardless, I don't see any reason why this match is not at Money in the Bank. or if it's not at Money in the Bank, then why it's not at, why does Jay still need to be champion at Money in the Bank is my question. Or why do we have to assume? Because I don't think Gunther wins. Like, do you think Gunther gets the title back here on June 9th?
No. I think if Jay was going to lose the belt, he'll probably lose at SummerSlam.
That's my thinking as well. So it's like, okay, go for it.
So I think what could happen is maybe they do. So they could do two things. I think at SummerSlam, I don't know. I kind of want it to be Seth versus Jay at SummerSlam and have Seth win.
Same.
But I feel like they might do something like another, like maybe Seth versus Punk match.
I don't know if we need it though. Like, I get it. It would make sense.
Oh, here's the thing. If they do Cena versus Punk, do you think they have Braun Breaker? Here's what I think could happen. Actually, let's say they kick off the show with the men's Money in the Bank. Braun wins, and then during the Cena versus Punk match, Braun tries to cash in, but Punk stops him. Then Cena ends up beating Punk.
Okay.
And then that sets up Braun versus Punk at SummerSlam.
But then the question still is, why does Jey Uso need to be champion at Money in the Bank? Why can't there be a possibility where Jay loses the title before Money in the Bank? You know what I mean?
He's not, though. I don't think he is.
You don't think Jay's the champion at Money in the Bank?
No, I don't think he's going to lose. Oh, that's what I mean.
No. So that's my thing. It's like, why does this match have to take place on June 9th? I'm just so confused on the timing of the announcement. Why is this match taking place on the Raw on June 9th and not at Money in the Bank? You know what I mean? Right. Or before Money in the Bank. That's the other thing. Like, okay, Gunther says, I get the winner of Saturday night's main event. I challenge for the championship after Saturday night's main event. If it's going to be a Raw match, then why not the Monday right after Saturday night's main event? The 27th. Instead of waiting all the way to June 9th, another 2 weeks. I don't know. Maybe we'll figure something out and they'll tell us why eventually, but yeah, we'll see. I just don't understand why it's got to be that day. And it just feels way too random, you know?
It does.
Basically, Jay just told him, I'm going to beat Logan Paul, keep my title, then I'm going to come and I'm going to beat you again, keep my title. What? And he drops the mic and walks off. What does he say? I don't even know what his little catchphrase line thing is here. He like grunts and then yeets and then walks away. I thought he was good when he did his when he did his thing at the end and he was all super fired up about it. I'm gonna beat Logan. I'm gonna beat you. I'm like, oh damn! Like, got me hyped. Like Jay's a good promo, but I think Jay is not a long promo guy. Like he's not good at these. He's not the best when it's like these 5 to 10 minute promos. Oh, Banks says it's yeet, something like that. Yeah, I can't do it. I gotta listen to it before I can do it. But anyways, I feel like Jay's good at like these quick 3-4 minute promos and like getting all fired up and just antsy in the moment kind of things. But when he's got to like go out there, and I'm not saying like, oh, he's a bad actor or something, which maybe he is. He's not good at like the long Roman Reigns, John Cena, Randy Orton promos. You know what I mean? The dragged out Seth Rollins promo. So I'm glad that they didn't keep like the Becky promo went too long. The Punk promo early went too long. This I thought was perfect by the time Gunther came out and everything. Yeah, Jay wasn't out there too long by himself. Gunther came out. They got to the point, and then they ended it. So this was the better talking segment of the night. This is when they did the tribute to Sabu. Cole called him a legendary ECW superstar, 2-time champion, who had a legendary rival with one of his close friends, and they named him on television Taz. Even though he's in AEW, they said Sabu had a legendary rivalry with one of my good friends, Taz. Which, again, I said it earlier. You want recommendations for Sabu matches? Terry Funk, barbed wire matches? The Taz matches. Taz would not be where he was. Taz would not be where he is today in pro wrestling if it was not for Sabu. Because Taz told the story on Twitter yesterday, which I had heard this story before, that Taz was brought into ECW to job to Sabu. Paul Heyman wanted Sabu or Taz to literally go in there and just get beat quickly by Sabu. He just needed an opponent for Sabu to beat. And Sabu said, no, I want to have a good match with this guy. And they went 50-50. If it wasn't for that and Taz to be able to show himself during that match, he may not have stuck around in ECW. And if he didn't stick around in ECW, there's no way he would be where he is today. So Taz basically has said it before, and he said it again yesterday. He owes his entire career and maybe even all of his life, the life he has now, basically, to Sabu and what Sabu did for him his first night in ECW. A lot of people don't know that story, but that's crazy.
That's another example of like just small things could really like make a big impact.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, another example is the John Cena one where he almost got fired and then he started rapping on a plane and Stephanie McMahon noticed it.
Back of the bus on a European tour. So, but yeah, that's the crazy one. Taz talked about that yesterday. He's got a 2-minute video on his Twitter if you want to go check it out. During a break, Eric and Ivar screamed at Adam Pearce, oh, this is why you didn't know about the triple threat, because it was during a break. Yeah, like I said, when you watch these international shows, half the time I forget. Like I'll write down during a break, or that happened during the break. Like I'll write it in my notes, but then I forget later. Was that a break? Was that not a break? Because everything so just meshes together and it just molds together. But this was during a break. That's what it was. Eric and Ivar were yelling at Adam Pearce, saying that wasn't fair. New Day walk in and they're laughing at them. Oh, you lost again. Ha ha ha. You don't get a title shot. And Adam Pearce is like, hey, I got to be fair here. Creeds did technically win. Ref counted for them. They will get a title shot. But I don't like how it went down. So you will also get a title shot. And when this match does happen, triple threat. So they didn't say win, though, which is weird. But they didn't say win. Maybe it's June 9th as well. But, well, now thinking about it, what if Gunther needs time off or something? Because Gunther literally said tonight, in 1 month's time, I will challenge for the title. Maybe Gunther needs more time off or something. I don't know. Now I'm just trying to get too much in my head of thinking, why is this match not at Money in the Bank?
I don't know, but maybe they're just having Gunther just take some time off to focus on, like, so that we can like try to focus on other storylines. Maybe.
So you didn't see this, but Jackie Redmond basically did an interview with Ludwig Kaiser going, hey, why does your 2025 suck so much? She's like, in 2024, you were the talk of the town. You had title shots. You were challenging for the Intercontinental Championship. Great feuds with Sheamus. But 2025, we haven't really seen much from you. I'm like,
Basically, yeah.
I'm like, oh, damn. She basically just said, hey, why has your year been so lackluster so far? But then all of a sudden we hear ding, 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 and we hear some noise, and they just walk away from Ludwig. They're just like, oh, sorry, we got to go. And camera pans this way, and we see that, well, Braun Breaker just took out Jey Uso. And yeah, I think he had a pipe in his hand, too. He's standing over Jey Uso, who's down. Hurricane and Jason Jordan and a referee run over. And Hurricane's like, we need help. But he's yelling at the referee, keep Braun back. Get him out of here. We don't want him coming. Because like they were worried that Braun was going to come back and attack Jey again. Sami Zayn then runs up. He's like, what happened? And Hurricane just looks at Sami and goes, Braun Breaker happened. I laughed so hard. He's like, Braun Breaker happened. And like the way he said it, that accent, that North Carolina accent that Shane Helms has was just so good. He's just like, Braun Breaker happened. And so, yeah, that is leading to a match next week, Braun Breaker versus Jey Uso, non-title. Elite says, think his wife is preggo or something. His wife actually just gave birth to a baby not that long ago. So even if she is pregnant again, there's no way she can already give birth. There would not be enough time. Because when was his baby born?
I didn't even know he actually had a baby.
I want to say like either end of last year or early this year. Ginny gave a birth. It was son's older than I thought. It was the end of 2023 when his son was born. Literally right after Christmas, like 2 days after Christmas 2023. But never mind. I thought his son was newborn kind of still. Under a year. Nope, a little over a year. She could be giving birth. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Whatever. Doesn't matter. I mean, it does kind of matter because we went on and on and on, but I don't know. But yes, Gunther does have a son with Ginny. So we had Jey Uso. No, Jey Uso tactic. I already read all that. AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. That was fine. I expected more out of it, especially because we've seen better from the two. This is the fourth time that these two have fought in WWE, and Michael Cole did say it. He said these two have something big in common. They're both former leaders of the Bullet Club. And he used those words on air, the Bullet Club. Not the first time he said it, but still kind of catches me off guard every time he says the Bullet Club. So they kept asking, this is funny. They got Carlito and JD at ringside, and Pat and Cole just keep yelling, JD, where's Dom? Hey, JD, where's Dom? JD, where's Dom? And then JD like says something to them, but not about Dom. And he's like, oh, JD's just ignoring us. JD don't want to tell us. Maybe Dom forgot what time zone he's in and he's coming out late. He thought it was an hour earlier or something. I don't know. They're making fun of him. And they're, Carlito, where's Dom? And Carlito's just like, he's just yelling at them for something else. I don't know. Kind of weird, but funny at the same time. So at one point, Styles was on the offense, and he became distracted by JD McDonough on the apron. Cole referred to this as the first distraction we've seen so far, because he's like, we're going to get more with the Judgment Day out here. They then dropped each other with a double clothesline, AJ and Finn, that is. This led to a commercial break. After the commercial break, Styles hit a superplex as they returned. They traded strikes until Styles caught a Balor Pele kick and attempted to apply a calf crusher. But Balor got to the ropes. Balor then hit a sling blade and a drop kick, but Styles avoided a coup de grace. Styles then tried to go for the calf crusher, but before Balor could break it up, AJ hit the Styles Clash and got a 2 off of it. Cole was then right because, well, he said that was our first of possible many interferences. And, well, Carlito tried to interfere this time, hopping up on the apron for a second before, the referee saw him and got distracted. Styles knocked down McDonough, who also tried to get involved. And then Balor hit an elevator reverse DDT. Penta then appeared on the barricade and took out Judgment Day at ringside. He leapt over JD, cross-bodied Carlito and gave him a Canadian destroyer. Styles then hit Balor with a phenomenal forearm and picked up the victory. This is leading to next week. It will be AJ and Penta taking on the Judgment Day's Finn Balor and JD McDonough. What'd you think of the match?
Well, the match was good, and that tag team match is going to be pretty. I think that's going to be a pretty fun tag match next week.
The match is going to be awesome. If they give it a good 10, 12, 15 minutes, oh yeah, it's going to be great.
Oh yeah, I also forgot AJ Styles is another person who could be in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah. And this match tonight went 17 minutes. It didn't feel that long at all. I was thinking 13 to 15. It went 17. So if we can get this amount of time for that tag match next week, oh boy, would it be great. Let it go through 2 commercial breaks. So Becky Lynch is making her way out to the ring, and we see Karrion Kross gave T-shirts to the New Day in the background, which is very weird and odd, but okay. Becky comes out, and this wasn't all that great. I didn't care for this or like this at all. I don't know your thoughts, but I did not like this Becky promo segment one bit. I felt like it did nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, it didn't really do much, honestly.
So Becky comes out and was like, yeah, I might have lost a Backlash, but I wasn't the one beat up afterwards, had to go to the hospital. Lyra. So the fans didn't, really care for much of this. She was talking shit on Lyra. She's like, Lyra went to the hospital while I went and took a shower on my tour bus and drank some tequila, basking in my brilliance. I'm like, okay, but you're still not the champion, dumbass. After everything Valkyria did to her, attacking her character for weeks, Lyra brought all this out and brought out the best in Becky. Lyra never mattered, and only because she fought Becky, the fans cared. She realized how much has been manipulated and how much the fans have manipulated her. She walked away for almost a year because the fans said, we don't want to see you going for the title anymore. And Becky said, if I'm not going for a title, why am I even here? So if the fans don't want to see me going for a title, I went away. I'm like, what? Okay. Anyways, Lynch said she had always been for the people because, well, she had to thank them for her career. They got her where she was. At least that's what she was told. They saw themselves in her, and they were in this together. And then something happened. She won. They couldn't see themselves in her anymore because they were failures and she was not. And they couldn't understand that she's better than them. One of Lynch's friends asked her if she missed it. And she said, yeah, I missed being in the ring. But that was about it. I didn't miss listening to the fans and the fans telling me everything about myself. She heard the same lies from the one person she had hope for in this business, and that was Lyra. She said it all changed. It all changes from now. She said, quote, from now on, whatever I say I am, I am. So I'm selfish? Yeah, I am. I'm greedy? Yeah, I am. I'm cutthroat? Yeah, I am. All the girls in the back who were happy that she was gone because they were now safe and getting opportunities, well, they're going to find out what it's like to be held down by the man. She's playing into this Becky Hogan shit, basically. What did you think? I thought it was too kind of just bland.
It was a little bland, honestly. Jeez, dude, now we're talking like Gordon Ramsay. It's bland, needs more seasoning.
Yeah, it set up nothing. Like, what are they doing with Becky now? Is she going to be in Money in the Bank? I mean, I can kind of see it.
Maybe. I feel like if she was, then they'd probably. I don't know.
That's the thing.
We have to see who else is in Money. We have to see who else is in Money in the Bank to see who else could win besides Becky.
Right. But it's like, this is just weird because I felt like they did nothing. Like, this was she was out there for like 10 minutes, it felt like, and it accomplished nothing. At least for me. But moving forward. My notes just froze. Let me refresh this. I lost the chat too. We're still live? Yeah, we're still live. That was weird. Wait. Oh, there we go. For some reason, I felt like my internet froze up for a second. Anyways, we're good. We're back.
I feel that.
There's a Rusev video. Said he would rather his brother fall by his hands than fall into the abyss. Then Tozawa's in the back. He asked Adam Pearce for a match with Rusev. Maxine and Natty were there going, hey, he can do it. He's good. And then Pearce tells us, yeah, but Tozawa, you're not cleared. So I can't officially put you in a match, especially with Rusev. So come back to me when you're clear and we'll talk about this again. And I'm like, oh, wonder what's going on with Tozawa. That's an interesting one. Sheamus then comes in. He's like, Tozawa, what's up, brother? Hey, Adam Pearce, I need to talk to you. He's like, let me fight Grayson Waller, that little snotty ass motherfucker. He didn't say those words, but he said some weird, like, Irish saying that he called them. I don't know. But they made the match, even though the match was already announced like an hour earlier. So yeah, that match is announced, and we have 4 things for next week's Raw. Money in the Bank qualifying matches, which technically will probably be 2, because they never do just one. It's always a 1 man and 1 woman, probably. So it's probably 2 matches there. We got AJ and Penta versus Finn and JD. So there's another match. Sheamus and Waller, and then non-titled Jay versus Breaker. So we got like 5 matches for next week's Raw, which is pretty good. Pretty good to announce ahead of time. Now we just need to figure out who's in them qualifiers. But with that, before we get into the main event here, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus Roxanne Perez and Julia, we got to tell you about our sponsor, Chef Robot. Let's hear about them right now. Hey, food lovers, want crispy, delicious meals without the guilt? Then say hello to the Chef Robot 8-quart double air fryer, the ultimate kitchen sidekick that fries, bakes, and roasts with up to 85% less oil. With its smart cooking technology, you get perfectly golden results every time. Whether it's wings, fries, or even dessert, just set it, forget it, and enjoy chef-quality meals in minutes. So why settle for boring, greasy foods when you can cook healthier and faster with Chef Robot? Get yours today and transform the way you cook. So use our link in the description below, scan the QR code on the screen, or head over to pwunlimited.co/Chef Robot now for smart cooking and perfect results. All right, and as far as this match does go, so like Roxanne and Julia have technically been called up to the main roster, but they want us to think that they're NXT women invading Raw. So they call them NXT's Roxanne Perez, NXT's Julia. So that's the thing. They want us to think that they're like invading. I guess that's kind of how it comes off. Ooh, my notes froze again. That's weird. Let me refresh this. There we go. As far as the match does go, the heels were in control early on and even through a break. Ripley then made the hot tag. She gave Perez a razor's edge and a running kick for a 2. Perez then brought Ripley off the top rope with a Hurricane Rana, got a 2 of her own. Julia gave Ripley a vertical suplex before Perez hit a middle rope moonsault for a 2. Sky then made the next hot tag and hit Julia with a missile drop kick. They all traded big moves here until Sky hit a moonsault, but Perez broke up the cover. Ripley then elevated Sky into a drop kick. They took out Julia. Sky then wiped out Perez with a springboard drop kick. Julia then tripped Ripley off the apron before hitting Sky with an impressive avalanche butterfly suplex and a brain buster. But Ripley broke up the pin. There's some more moves here, big moves by all women, until Ripley pushed Sky out of the way of a Perez flying crossbody, and Perez wiped out Julia by accident instead. Ripley then hit Julia with a riptide and pinned her to pick up the victory. So there we go. Rhea and Io do defeat Julia and Roxanne. Afterwards, they posed and raised their arms, but Rhea looks over and just stares at the belt. And Io's going like, yeah, we won. Oh, what are you looking at? That's my belt, not yours. And that's how the show went off the air, with Rhea looking at the belt, basically telling Io, I'm coming. She gets out of the ring, and there we go. What did you think of the main event match?
Main event match was good. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley at Money in the Bank, possibly.
I think it's possible, very possible.
I mean, great women's match to have. I mean, I don't think Tiffany defends her belt.
I think that's going to be Saturday night's main event because Nia beat Jade in the number 1 contenders match. So I think Nia and Tiffany will be Saturday night's main event.
That's what I mean. I don't think Tiffany defends at Money in the Bank.
Right.
Zelina Vega, I don't think she's defending her belt at Money in the Bank.
Probably not.
Which it's kind of for. I feel like the women's United States title has become very lackluster. They're not really focusing on that much.
I'm trying. Excuse me. Damn cough.
I feel like that's more of a SmackDown program belt.
Well, I mean, when you really think about it, even with it's like when Gunther was the mid-card men's champion on SmackDown, he really defended on the PLE. It was always SmackDown, SmackDown, SmackDown. And he was like the IC champion. So, nothing wrong with that. You need big title matches for the regular show as well to entice people to watch and get them ratings up. Whether you call a Zelina Vega title defense a big match or not, that's to be seen. But overall,
I guess, but
not one of the better Raws, but I wouldn't say it was a bad show at all. You know what I mean? And so now we barrel on for next week as we go into the go home for Saturday night's main event. But with that, guys, you know what we thought of the show. Now it's time to see what you guys thought as we refresh the polls. Remember, the poll on Twitch is already live. So let's refresh these other ones. Let's see. As far as the Threads poll does go, I don't know why that's not wanting to load. There we go. As far as the Threads poll does go, 54% liked the show, 41% thought it was just all right, and a 5% didn't like it. Looking at the Twitter X poll, 72% liked the show, 21% thought it was just all right, and 6% didn't like it. As far as the community poll does go, 72% liked the show, 20% thought it was just all right, and 7% didn't like it. The live poll here, 77% liked the show, 18% thought it was just all right, and 6% didn't like it. And finally, everybody that voted on Twitch liked the show. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com, /Pro Wrestling Unlimited, podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. But Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at Petke_21, and you can also find me over at Twitch at Young Grasshopper Luke.
With that, guys, have a great rest of your Monday night. It's technically Tuesday now, most places or some places. If you're on the East Coast, but have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your week. And I'll be back here on a Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. Have a good one, guys. We got Beach Break coming up.
I mean, it's almost Tuesday for us anyway.
Right. All right. If you're still watching live on Twitch, we're going to